Have you ever felt like life is moving faster than you can keep up with? Like you're constantly running after things, expectations, tasks, people, while forgetting to check in with yourself? It's easy to get caught up in the rush. But what if I told you there's a way to rise above the chaos and actually level up in life? The answer is simpler than you might think. It's rooted in ancient wisdom, timeless principles that guide us to live with purpose, clarity, and strength. In this episode, we'll explore 10 Stoic strategies that can help you gain control of your life, bring peace to your mind, and start living intentionally. These are not just theoretical ideas. They're practical tools that, when applied, will change how you think, feel, and act every day. So if you're ready to stop reacting to life and start creating the life you truly want, stick around. Let's dive into how Stoic wisdom can help you level up. 1. Make yourself a priority. Let's be real for a second. How often do you put everyone else's needs ahead of your own? Work, family, friends, the demands are endless. But here's the harsh truth. If you keep neglecting your own well-being, you won't have anything left to give to anyone else. The Stoics knew this. They understood that to live a life of purpose and integrity, you must make yourself a priority. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful Stoic figures, spent his days leading an empire while facing constant wars, political struggles, and personal challenges. Despite the chaos, he found time for self-care and reflection. Why? Because he knew that in order to show up as the best leader, father, and person, he had to first take care of his mind and soul. This isn't selfishness, it's self-preservation. Imagine you're on an airplane. The safety instructions say, "Put your oxygen mask on first before helping others." Why? Because you can't help anyone else if you're suffocating. In life, we often forget this lesson. We try to be everything to everyone, but in doing so, we exhaust ourselves. The Stoics would tell you, your inner peace is the foundation of everything else. Making yourself a priority doesn't mean you stop caring for others. It means you create space to care for yourself so you can give more fully. It's about balance. Think of it this way. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're constantly depleting your energy, eventually you won't have anything left to offer. To do this, set boundaries. It's essential to recognize that your time and energy are precious. The Stoics practiced the art of focusing on what they could control, and that included how they spent their time. When you prioritize yourself, you're honoring your most valuable resource, your mental and emotional energy. The people around you will learn to respect your time, and you'll become more effective in everything you do. One practical way to make yourself a priority is through self-reflection. Every day, take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, am I living in alignment with my values? Am I taking on too much? Am I investing time in things and people that truly matter to me? Self-reflection allows you to stay grounded and adjust your course when needed. But let's be honest, saying no isn't easy. There will be moments when you feel guilty for turning something down or putting yourself first. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control what others think of us, but we can control how we react to those expectations. When you choose to say no to things that drain you, you're saying yes to your own well-being. And in the long run, this will make you more present, more energized, and more aligned with your true self. So, start small. Today, ask yourself, what do I need to put down? Maybe it's a task that's not yours to do, or a commitment you've been holding on to out of guilt. Let it go. You'll quickly see that when you start putting yourself first, everything else starts to fall into place. Making yourself a priority isn't about being selfish, it's about being smart. When you invest in your own well-being, you can show up fully for those around you. So remember, your peace, your health, your happiness are worth prioritizing. And once you do, you'll find that you're not just surviving life, you're thriving. 2. Enhance your appearance. Let's face it, first impressions count. You might tell yourself that what's inside is all that matters, but reality doesn't work that way. The way you present yourself to the world has a profound impact on how people perceive you, and perhaps more importantly, how you perceive yourself. Enhancing your appearance isn't about vanity. It's about projecting your inner confidence and showing respect for yourself and the world around you. The Stoics, despite their focus on inner virtue, knew the power of appearance. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood that his outward presentation had to match the discipline and wisdom he sought to embody. It wasn't about impressing others. It was about showing up in a way that aligned with his values. He took care of his body and dressed with intention, because he understood that the body and mind are connected. When you take care of your appearance, you honor both your body and your mind. Here's the thing, your appearance is often the first thing people notice, and it speaks volumes about how much you value yourself. Think about it. If you show up looking disheveled or unkempt, what message are you sending? Maybe you're communicating that you don't care about yourself or that you're overwhelmed. On the flip side, when you take the time to look put together, you send a message of confidence and self-respect. It's not about perfection, it's about intention. The Stoic practice of self-discipline goes beyond just the mind. It extends to how you present yourself in the world. If you're constantly giving to others, you need to make sure you're refueling yourself. And that includes taking care of your body. The Stoics would tell you that maintaining your physical health isn't indulgent. It's necessary to live a life of purpose and action. A healthy body supports a clear mind. So how do you enhance your appearance in a way that resonates with Stoic principles? Start with the basics. Taking care of your body through regular exercise, proper nutrition, and adequate sleep isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good and having the energy to tackle life's challenges. When you feel strong and healthy, your confidence soars, and this confidence is reflected in how you carry yourself. Another important element is dressing with intention. This doesn't mean wearing designer clothes or following the latest trends. It means presenting yourself in a way that aligns with your values. Are you dressing for comfort, for your goals, or for the occasion? When you dress with purpose, you project the message that you take yourself seriously and respect the space you occupy. The Stoics were known for their modest clothing, but even they knew that the way you present yourself is a reflection of the attitude you bring to the world. And remember, your appearance isn't just about your clothes or your physical health. It's about your demeanor. Stoicism teaches us to stay calm in the face of adversity, and this calmness should also be reflected in how we present ourselves to others. Your posture, the way you walk into a room, and even the expression on your face communicate your inner state. If you approach life with poise and tranquility, that's what people will notice. They'll be drawn to your presence, because people respect and admire those who can maintain their calm in a world full of chaos. So, take a moment today to think about your appearance. Not just how you look, but how you present yourself. Are you showing up as the best version of yourself? Enhance your appearance not out of vanity, but as an expression of your self-respect and discipline. Because when you take care of how you show up in the world, you're giving yourself the best shot at success, connection, and inner peace. 3. Keep smiling. It might seem simple, but a smile has the power to change everything. Think about it. How many times have you walked into a room and immediately felt the energy shift when someone smiles at you? A smile is like a secret weapon, not only for making others feel comfortable, but for reinforcing your own mental and emotional resilience. The Stoics understood this well. Keeping a calm and steady demeanor, even in adversity, was essential. But a smile? That's an outward symbol of inner strength and peace. You see, life isn't always smooth sailing. There are going to be days when everything feels overwhelming, when the pressure is mounting, and when you feel like you're barely holding it together. But here's the thing. A smile doesn't mean you're pretending everything is perfect. It means that despite life's storms, you've chosen to face them with grace, confidence, and peace. The Stoics taught us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions. And smiling is one of the simplest, most powerful ways to control your reaction. Think of a time when you were stressed out, maybe at work, maybe dealing with a personal challenge, and then someone smiled at you. What happened? Suddenly the situation didn't feel so heavy. A smile doesn't just change the atmosphere, it changes your mindset. When you smile, even when it feels hard, you remind yourself that you have the power to rise above the situation. Marcus Aurelius, despite leading an empire and facing constant war and conflict, knew the importance of maintaining inner peace. And although he didn't talk about smiling directly, he emphasized the power of maintaining a calm and steady presence in the face of chaos. Smiling is an extension of that calmness. It's a reminder that you are in control of how you approach life. When you choose to smile, you're choosing to stand firm, no matter what challenges come your way. So, what can you do to incorporate this simple practice into your daily life? Start by making it a habit. When you wake up, smile. Even before you open your eyes, think of something you're grateful for and smile. If you start your day with a smile, it sets the tone for everything that follows. And when you encounter difficult situations, whether at work, with a friend, or in a family gathering, remember that a smile can be a shield against negativity. It's not about ignoring your problems, it's about choosing a response that reflects inner peace. The science behind it isn't just philosophical. Smiling actually changes your brain chemistry. It triggers the release of endorphins, those feel-good hormones that help reduce stress and boost your mood. So every time you smile, you're giving your brain a little dose of happiness. That's not just good for you, it's good for everyone around you too. People are naturally drawn to positive energy, and a smile is the simplest way to share that energy with others. And remember, this isn't about forcing a fake smile or pretending things are perfect when they're not. It's about choosing to face challenges with a mindset that refuses to be defeated. Smiling in the face of adversity doesn't mean you're ignoring the difficulties. It means you're choosing to stand tall, grounded, and calm, no matter what the world throws your way. So, the next time life feels overwhelming or you're dealing with a tough moment, just take a breath and smile. It's your way of showing the world and yourself that you're in control. Smiling isn't just an expression on your face, it's a reflection of your inner strength. 4. Maintain kindness, but set boundaries. In a world that constantly demands your attention, it's easy to get lost in the needs of others. We want to be kind, generous, and helpful, but there comes a point where giving without limits can be harmful to your own well-being. The Stoics taught us a crucial lesson. You can be kind without losing yourself. Maintaining kindness doesn't mean being a doormat. It means learning to say no when necessary and creating healthy boundaries that protect your energy. It's a simple truth. When you overextend yourself for others, you're left with little to offer in return. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of self-care, not in the self-indulgent, ego-driven sense, but in the way that ensures you're able to give your best to the world around you. By setting boundaries, you protect your ability to serve others with clarity and compassion. Let's take Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, as an example. He had the weight of an empire on his shoulders, wars, politics, and personal tragedy. But through it all, he found time for self-reflection and maintaining his internal peace. How? By setting boundaries. He understood that to lead effectively, he needed to protect his mind and his energy. He couldn't afford to be spread thin. This is the heart of the Stoic practice, to focus on what is in our control and let go of what isn't. Now, let's be clear. Setting boundaries doesn't mean pushing people away or being selfish. It's about recognizing what you need to thrive and ensuring that your energy isn't being drained by things that don't align with your values. It's about maintaining a balance between being there for others and being there for yourself. One of the best ways to set boundaries is to be clear with yourself about your priorities. Ask, what are my limits? What am I willing to give? And when do I need to step back? It's important to recognize when you're giving too much, especially when doing so is affecting your health or peace of mind. Stoics like Epictetus believed that our greatest power is in choosing how we respond to situations. And sometimes the best response is to calmly, firmly say no. It's not about being rude. It's about protecting your time and energy so you can show up as the best version of yourself. Boundaries also require communication. You don't have to justify or explain yourself endlessly. When you make a decision to set a boundary, it's enough to simply state it. Whether it's not answering an email after hours or saying no to a social event when you need time to recharge, being clear about your limits teaches others to respect your time and space. When you respect yourself, others are more likely to do the same. And let's not forget, boundaries help us preserve our emotional energy. If you're surrounded by people who drain you, constantly demanding more than you can give, you'll find it harder to be kind, patient, and present. Setting boundaries with people who are toxic or consistently overstep can be the healthiest thing you do for your mental well-being. You don't have to justify every decision. If a relationship is taking more than it's giving, it might be time to step back. This doesn't mean cutting people off harshly, but it means distancing yourself with intention, prioritizing your emotional health. Finally, practice empathy within your boundaries. The Stoics understood that while we can't control the actions of others, we can control our responses. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being cold or detached. It means understanding that people too have their own struggles, and you don't need to carry the weight of everyone else's emotional baggage. You can still be kind while protecting your peace. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect, and it's essential for living a life that's aligned with your values. The more you practice setting boundaries, the more you'll realize that this isn't about shutting people out. It's about allowing yourself to thrive so that you can give the best of yourself to others. By maintaining kindness and clarity, you create space for relationships that are healthy, fulfilling, and rooted in mutual respect. 5. Stay calm in the middle of chaos. Life is unpredictable. It throws challenges your way when you least expect them, and often things feel like they're falling apart all at once. But what if I told you that your ability to stay calm, no matter how chaotic things get, was the key to navigating life's storms with grace and purpose. This is where Stoicism truly shines. The Stoics knew that we can't control the chaos around us, but we can absolutely control how we respond to it. Imagine you're in the middle of a storm. The winds are howling, the rain is pouring down, and the world around you feels unstable. In that moment, you have two choices: panic and try to control what you can't, or stay grounded and focused on what's within your power. This is exactly how the Stoics viewed life. They understood that peace isn't found in avoiding chaos. It's found in our ability to remain calm and composed, no matter what's happening around us. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. As Emperor of Rome, he faced battles on multiple fronts, political intrigue, and personal tragedies. And yet, his meditations are filled with reflections on maintaining calmness, control, and focus amid the chaos. He knew that in times of crisis, the true test of character was how we react. When life feels like a whirlwind, it's easy to get swept up in the emotional turbulence, but Stoicism teaches us to pause, breathe, and act with purpose. Here's the thing: staying calm doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or ignoring the difficulty of the situation. It means choosing your response thoughtfully, not letting your emotions control you. When you remain calm, you're not reacting impulsively. Instead, you're choosing to think, reflect, and act in a way that aligns with your values and goals. This calmness isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of inner strength. Think about it. When everything around you is chaotic, how do you respond? Do you let frustration, anger, or panic take over, or do you take a moment to breathe and evaluate the situation? The Stoics would tell you to pause, take control of your thoughts, and approach the problem from a place of clarity. This ability to stay calm in the face of chaos is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. One way to practice this Stoic principle is through mindfulness. When life is overwhelming, take a step back and simply observe what's happening. Instead of reacting right away, pause and breathe. It's amazing how much calmer you feel when you allow yourself that space to just be, even for just a few moments. This pause helps you gain perspective, making it easier to respond from a place of strength rather than being swept up in emotions. Another tool is acceptance. The Stoics taught that there are things we can control and things we can't. The chaos of life. Most of it is beyond our control, but how we respond, that's all up to us. By accepting that life will always have its challenges, we free ourselves from the need to fight against every storm. Instead, we focus on what we can control: our reactions, our attitude, and our choices. So, how do you stay calm in the middle of chaos? Start by embracing the discomfort. When you feel stressed or overwhelmed, don't try to push it away. Instead, sit with it for a moment. Recognize the discomfort and remind yourself that you have the power to control how you react to it. This is your opportunity to practice Stoic calmness. When you master this, you'll not only feel more in control, but you'll also find that the chaos around you becomes much less overwhelming. Lastly, remember that calmness is contagious. When you stay calm, others around you will notice. You become the anchor in the storm, the person others can rely on. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or invincible. It means being strong enough to maintain your composure in the face of difficulty. As the Stoics taught us, it's not the external events that shape us. It's our responses. And in those moments of chaos, your calmness will be your greatest strength. 6. Set your course. If you don't know where you're going, how will you ever get there? This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a lesson from Stoic philosophy that can transform your life. The Stoics understood that without a clear sense of direction, life becomes a series of random events and reactions, leading to frustration and confusion. Setting your course means defining what you want to achieve, aligning your actions with your values, and having the clarity to stay on track, no matter how bumpy the road gets. Epictetus, a central figure in Stoicism, taught that we can't control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. That control begins with setting a clear purpose. Without purpose, you're adrift, responding to whatever comes your way. But when you have a course, you can steer through challenges with focus and determination. So how do you set your course? First, take some time to really reflect on what matters most to you. It's easy to get swept up in what other people want or expect from you, but the Stoics believed that true freedom comes from living in alignment with your values, not someone else's. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? What are the values I want to embody? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Once you have clarity about what you stand for, set clear, actionable goals. These aren't just wishful thinking or vague dreams. They're concrete steps that you can work toward every day. The Stoics didn't just talk about virtue, they practiced it. They didn't sit around hoping for things to improve. They took action in accordance with their values. Whether it's improving your health, developing your career, or fostering meaningful relationships, setting specific goals gives you something tangible to work toward. But setting your course isn't just about having a destination. It's about staying committed to that direction, even when things get tough. Life will throw distractions, setbacks, and doubts your way. It's part of the journey. But as the Stoics teach us, true strength comes from the ability to stay on course despite the obstacles. Obstacles aren't signs to give up. They are opportunities to practice resilience and focus. To stay on course, you need to constantly evaluate your progress. The Stoics didn't believe in sitting back and waiting for things to happen. They believed in constant reflection and self-improvement. Every day, ask yourself, am I moving closer to my goals? Am I living in alignment with my values? This is how you adjust your sails when the winds change, keeping your journey steady. Another key aspect of setting your course is learning to embrace uncertainty. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we plan, and that's okay. The Stoics didn't shy away from the unknown, they accepted it with grace. Setting your course doesn't mean controlling every detail of the future. It means having the clarity and resilience to face whatever comes your way. When you're focused on your purpose, the detours become part of the process, not reasons to give up. Lastly, remember that your course is uniquely yours. Stoicism teaches us to avoid comparing ourselves to others. Don't measure your success by someone else's standards. The path you're walking is your own, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Stay true to your values and your purpose, and you'll find that you're exactly where you need to be. So, set your course. Define your direction. Align your actions with your values. And no matter how turbulent life gets, stay steady, stay focused, and keep moving toward your destination. The Stoics knew that true freedom and peace come from living a life of purpose, and now it's your turn to embrace that path. 7. Make your stand. Life is full of moments that test your character. From difficult decisions to the everyday pressures of society, we are constantly faced with situations that require us to choose a side, take a stand, and assert our values. The Stoics didn't just accept life as it came. They actively chose how they would engage with the world. Making your stand means drawing a line in the sand and standing firm in your beliefs, no matter the challenges that come your way. Think about it. How many times have you backed down from something that was important to you because you were afraid of conflict or rejection? The Stoics believed that true strength isn't about avoiding discomfort or confrontation. It's about embracing what's right, even when it's hard. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, led an empire with constant pressure and opposition, yet he remained steadfast in his principles. He never compromised on his values, even in the face of personal and political adversity. So, how do you make your stand? Start by being clear on what you believe in. You can't stand firm if you don't know where you stand. This requires introspection and reflection. Ask yourself, what do I truly value? What are the principles I'm willing to defend? The Stoics taught that by knowing what we stand for, we can act with purpose and conviction. Without this clarity, we can easily be swept away by the opinions and pressures of others. Making your stand isn't about forcing your beliefs onto others. It's about standing true to yourself, regardless of external pressure. In every situation, you have the choice to act according to your values or to bend to what others expect. It might not always be easy, and it might cost you in the short term, but the Stoics remind us that our character and integrity are far more valuable than any fleeting approval or comfort. Another key aspect of making your stand is learning to embrace discomfort. The Stoics understood that growth happens outside of our comfort zones. If you always go along with the crowd, if you always take the easy path, you're not growing. True courage comes from standing up for what's right, even when it feels difficult or when you're standing alone. The discomfort you feel in those moments is a sign that you're moving in the right direction, toward growth, toward authenticity, and toward strength. But making your stand doesn't mean you can't be open to others. It's about being firm in your beliefs, while also being open to learning and growth. The Stoics didn't believe in being rigid or inflexible. They believed in being open to reason and understanding, but they also knew when it was time to stand firm. This is the balance. Stand firm in your values, but stay open to wisdom. In practical terms, making your stand might look like saying no when others ask you to compromise your values, or defending someone who is being mistreated, or choosing a path in your career or personal life that aligns with your true calling, not what others expect from you. It's about being unapologetic for who you are and what you stand for. And here's the most important part. When you make your stand, you teach others to respect you. You become someone who is seen as strong, reliable, and rooted in your principles. Others will come to know that you are someone who doesn't waver when it matters, and that builds trust and respect. So what's your stand? What are you willing to fight for? Take a moment to reflect on your values, your principles, and the things that truly matter to you. Make your stand, and let it guide you through every challenge that comes your way. When you stand firm in who you are, you will find that life becomes clearer, and you'll have the strength to face whatever comes next. 8. Nurture your sense of humor. In a world that often feels heavy with responsibilities, stress, and endless challenges, it's easy to forget the importance of laughter. The Stoics understood that humor wasn't just a way to escape life's struggles. It was a way to face them with strength and resilience. Nurturing your sense of humor means embracing the lighter side of life, finding joy in the small moments, and learning to laugh even in the face of adversity. It's easy to get caught up in the seriousness of life. Responsibilities, deadlines, and problems pile up, and before you know it, you're weighed down by the pressure. But here's the thing, laughter is a form of freedom. It frees you from the constant burden of trying to control everything, from the self-imposed expectations that you have to be perfect, or from the constant worrying about things that are often beyond your control. Laughter helps you put things into perspective and allows you to navigate life with a sense of lightness. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor of a vast empire, didn't take himself too seriously. He had a sense of humor that helped him stay grounded and focused on his purpose, even in the midst of chaos. He wrote in his meditations about accepting life as it comes, but also about finding moments of joy and humor in the everyday. This wasn't about being indifferent to suffering or ignoring the hard realities of life. It was about remembering that you can choose how to respond to them. A laugh or a smile in the right moment can completely shift your mindset, turning frustration into an opportunity for growth. So, how can you nurture your sense of humor? Start by not taking yourself too seriously. We all have flaws, we all make mistakes, and that's okay. Instead of getting upset when things don't go as planned, try to laugh at the absurdity of it all. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and sometimes the best way to cope is to embrace the humor in the situation. Stoic humor is about finding the ridiculous in the serious. It's the ability to recognize when life is throwing curveballs and to laugh at the fact that it's completely out of your control. Another way to nurture humor is by surrounding yourself with people who make you laugh. The Stoics didn't live in isolation. They understood the importance of relationships and connection. A good laugh shared with others can relieve tension, build trust, and help you feel more grounded. Whether it's with friends, family, or colleagues, spend time with people who bring joy into your life. Their light-heartedness can remind you not to take life too seriously and to focus on the things that truly matter. It's also important to remember that humor can be a tool in difficult situations. Think of a moment when you were stressed or facing a tough challenge. What if, instead of reacting with frustration, you responded with a laugh or a light-hearted comment? Humor can help diffuse tension, ease anxiety, and even bring people together. In Stoicism, humor doesn't mean avoiding the challenges. It means facing them with a resilient mindset, knowing that no situation is as dire as it seems. Finally, humor can help you stay humble. When you're able to laugh at yourself, you remind yourself that you're not above the struggles of life. We all have our ups and downs, and laughing at your own imperfections keeps you grounded. It's a reminder that, while you should take your goals seriously, you shouldn't take yourself too seriously. So, nurture your sense of humor. Find joy in the chaos, laugh at life's absurdities, and use humor to keep things in perspective. The Stoics didn't let life's challenges get them down. They embraced them with wisdom, resilience, and yes, humor. By cultivating laughter, you'll not only navigate life's storms with grace, but you'll also find joy in the journey. 9. Be respectful to everyone. In a world where differences often lead to division and misunderstanding, Stoicism teaches us to maintain respect for all people, regardless of their background, status, or behavior. Respect isn't about agreeing with everyone. It's about recognizing the inherent worth of every individual. This Stoic principle isn't just about politeness or social niceties. It's about a deep understanding of our shared humanity and treating others with dignity. The Stoics, particularly figures like Marcus Aurelius, were keenly aware of the challenges of leadership. As emperor, Marcus interacted with all kinds of people: soldiers, politicians, philosophers, and citizens. He didn't view anyone as beneath him. In his meditations, he wrote about the importance of treating others with respect. even when their actions or attitudes might not align with his own values. This wasn't about pretending to like everyone. It was about understanding that everyone has a role to play in the larger tapestry of life. Respecting others starts with recognizing their humanity. It's easy to get caught up in judgments, whether it's the way someone dresses, their job, or their opinions. But the Stoics remind us that we are all part of the same human experience. No one is beneath you, and no one is above you. When you see others as equals, as fellow travelers on this journey of life, your interactions will naturally shift. You'll approach people with empathy, curiosity, and a willingness to understand, rather than criticize or dismiss. So, how do you practice respect in your daily life? Start with being mindful of your words and actions. The way you speak to and about others matters. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and reflect. Treat people with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you'd want for yourself. Whether it's a stranger on the street, a colleague, or a family member, your respect can create a ripple effect, encouraging others to do the same. Another key to respect is listening deeply. Too often we hear others, but don't truly listen. We're waiting for our turn to speak, or we're making judgments before someone has even finished their thought. But true respect comes when we give others the space to express themselves fully, without interrupting or jumping to conclusions. Listen to understand, not to respond. When you do this, you honor the other person's experience and viewpoint, even if you don't agree with them. This opens up a space for meaningful conversation and connection. The Stoics also taught the importance of treating others as we would like to be treated, but with the added depth of understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles. We never know the full story behind someone's actions. Perhaps they're dealing with grief, stress, or frustration that's influencing their behavior. Respect means meeting people where they are, not where you expect them to be. This mindset helps you avoid judgment and instead approach each person with compassion. But what happens when others don't treat you with respect? The Stoics believed that we can only control our reactions, not others' behavior. If someone is rude or dismissive, you don't have to mirror that negativity. Instead, respond with composure, kindness, and grace. By doing so, you maintain your own integrity and avoid getting caught up in a cycle of disrespect. Your response is a reflection of your own values, not theirs. Respecting everyone also means acknowledging the value of differing perspectives. The Stoics knew that true wisdom comes from learning, and you can't learn if you're closed off to other viewpoints. Be open to hearing from others, even if their beliefs or opinions differ from yours. This doesn't mean you have to agree, but by respecting their voice, you create a more inclusive, thoughtful environment where ideas can flourish. Finally, remember that respect is a reflection of your own character. It's not about what others do to deserve respect. It's about how you choose to behave. By showing respect, you elevate yourself and contribute to creating a more harmonious world. You don't need others to validate your worth through their actions. Your respect for them is an expression of your own strength and integrity. So, be respectful to everyone. Whether they agree with you, look like you, or share your values, everyone deserves respect. In doing so, you create a life filled with compassion, understanding, and stronger connections. The Stoics knew that the way we treat others is a direct reflection of who we are, and by practicing respect, you not only elevate others, but yourself as well. 10. Cut out negative energy. Life has a way of throwing negativity at us, whether it's the constant barrage of bad news, toxic people, or our own internal doubts and fears. It can feel overwhelming at times. The Stoics understood this well and taught us a vital lesson. You are the gatekeeper of your own mind. What you allow in shapes your reality. So if you want to thrive, you need to cut out negative energy, whether it's from others, your environment, or your own thoughts. First, let's talk about the energy you allow from others. We've all encountered people who drain us, who bring negativity, gossip, or criticism into our lives. The Stoics weren't about avoiding people, but they were clear about the need to protect their mental and emotional peace. Epictetus, for instance, emphasized that we cannot control others, but we can control our responses. If someone is bringing negativity into your life, it's up to you whether you allow it to affect you. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is set boundaries with toxic people. This doesn't mean cutting people out of your life entirely, but it does mean recognizing when certain relationships are no longer serving your well-being. Stoicism teaches us that we don't need to engage with every negative comment or action. You have the power to choose where you direct your energy. If someone consistently brings negativity into your space, it's okay to step back and focus on your own growth. But negativity doesn't just come from others. It can also come from the constant flow of news, social media, and external distractions. We live in a world where we're constantly connected and constantly receiving information, and much of it is negative. News outlets focus on conflict, tragedy, and crises, and social media is often filled with comparison and judgment. The Stoics would tell you to control what you consume. The practice of mindful consumption, be it news, social media, or even conversations, is essential. Are you watching the news to stay informed, or are you feeding your anxiety with every headline? Are you scrolling through social media to stay connected, or are you comparing your life to others' highlight reels? Cut out the sources of negativity and focus on what adds value to your life. Instead of scrolling mindlessly, take time to engage with things that inspire you, that fuel your growth, and that remind you of your purpose. Then, there's the negative energy that comes from within. Self-doubt, fear, and criticism are often the most destructive forces we face. The Stoics were masters at challenging their inner negativity. Marcus Aurelius, for example, constantly reminded himself that our thoughts are within our control. If you feel overwhelmed by doubt or negativity, ask yourself, is this thought helpful? Is it aligned with my values? If not, choose to let it go. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but about understanding that your thoughts do not define you. A powerful Stoic practice to deal with negative internal energy is journaling. Write down your thoughts, but don't just write to vent. Reflect on what's driving the negativity. Is it fear of failure? Is it insecurity about your future? By acknowledging these thoughts, you can challenge them and reframe them with logic and perspective. This practice will help you shift from a reactive mindset to one of empowered action. The Stoics also believed in acceptance, accepting that not everything is within our control. If you're constantly fighting against the things you can't change, you'll exhaust yourself. Instead, focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. Release the need to control everything, and you'll free yourself from the weight of negative energy. One of the best ways to cut out negative energy is to surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who uplift you, who encourage you to grow, and who bring out the best in you. Seek out environments that promote peace and calm, and spend less time in places or situations that drain your energy. You become like the people and environments you surround yourself with, so choose wisely. Finally, remember that cutting out negative energy doesn't mean ignoring reality. Life will still have its challenges, and you'll still face difficulties. But how you handle them, and what you allow to affect your inner peace, makes all the difference. The Stoics knew that external events are often beyond our control, but we can always choose our response. When you cut out negative energy, you create space for growth, for peace, and for the clarity needed to pursue what truly matters. So, take action today. Cut out the negativity in your life. Be mindful of what you consume. Set boundaries with those who drain you, and challenge the negative thoughts that arise within you. By doing so, you'll protect your energy, your peace, and your ability to thrive. And remember, you have the power to choose what you allow into your mind and your life. Choose wisely and watch your world transform. As we've journeyed through these 10 Stoic strategies, one thing becomes clear. The power to transform your life lies within you. From making yourself a priority to cutting out negative energy, every lesson teaches us that we are the architects of our own peace, happiness, and success. Life won't always be easy, and challenges will come your way, but how you respond is entirely within your control. The Stoics didn't shy away from adversity. They faced it with wisdom, resilience, and clarity. And now, it's your turn to apply these timeless principles in your life. Choose to stay calm in the storm, stand firm in your values, and nurture your inner peace. You have everything you need to rise above the chaos and create a life that's aligned with your true purpose. So, let today be the day you start embracing these Stoic strategies. Take action, make changes, and watch as your life begins to shift. Remember, you don't need to control everything around you. You only need to control how you show up. Keep smiling, keep striving, and stay grounded in your values. You are capable of more than you know.